today's video is brought to you by Built Bar. Now, I don't know if you've tried protein bars before, but most of them suck. Pretty much all of them suck. But Built Bar doesn't. And they're actually really good. They make coconut, they make chocolate, they make raspberry. Raspberry and orange are my favorites. Ignore the crinkling because they're good. I genuinely, I thought I would do it to putting in my home gym and everything like that, but I also just eat them as a snack because they're good. And now you gotta watch me eat. Trust me, it's gone. How do you not? I eat them when I'm off camera all day, but eating it on camera makes it slightly harder for me to relay the message to you that these are really good. If you go to their website, they have over 66,000 five-star reviews. 66,000. They're healthy for you too. So give them a shot. BuiltBar.com, link below in the description. Promo code SSR. If you're only picking one or two, orange or raspberry are my favorites. Everyone's got different tastes. They've got 18 different flavors. You're not going to go wrong. Nuts, no nuts, gel packs. Give them a shot. Link right below in the description. Now to today's video. Whatever. What's up, everybody? Rob Ferretti here, and today I'm going to tell you why you should not lie to your insurance company because it doesn't generally work out. Now, here's the main thing you have to realize, that your insurance company that you pay all the time doesn't necessarily have to cover you, and they'll look for reasons not to cover you. And that was just proven by, there's a case now, insurance company versus insurance company, because insurance companies like to sue each other because that's where the money is, because you sue an insurance company, you win, they pay out. You sue an individual, you win, there may be nothing to get. And here's a situation where there was a rental Lamborghini that was crashed, and it was the rental Lamborghini was cited for speeding, the other car was cited for something, so they're both at fault. And the insurance company for the other car denied the claim, and they first said they were accepting coverage, and then they backed it out after doing an investigation. The car was registered in Massachusetts and being driven in Florida. This is a very common thing a lot of people do. They're like, oh, it's so much cheaper. I live in New York. It's cheaper for me to get insurance in Massachusetts. It's cheaper for me to get insurance somewhere else. You're supposed to insure the car where it's being driven. Now, you'll go and you shop it around and be like, it's so much cheaper to insure it to my buddy's house in Alabama. And that's much easier. You save all the money. But when something happens is the problem. You're spending money on insurance because you have to, but also because it covers you. If you're spending money on insurance and don't actually have coverage, that's the absolute worst possible scenario. Now, Geico sued the other insurance company because the other insurance company backed out the coverage, and it landed in the appellate court, which they just lost that too. Now, the appellate court said that the other company does not have to insure the customer because the customer lied. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means Geico wasted money suing the other insurance company, and it means that also Geico still has a claim against the customer that lied to the insurance company, but there's no coverage afforded there. Now, lying to the insurance company, what happened? You get your policy and you feel like you won one. You're like, yeah, all right, I just saved $800, $2,000 a year, whatever it is. But if you ultimately don't have coverage without physically or like actually lying to your insurance company, which is now a crime, you're in trouble. Now, you don't get your premiums back. You don't get to restart anything. You don't get any of that. And imagine there was like a injury claim or something like that. That's all personally going to land on you, your inheritance. Like, oh, whatever, I don't have anything. You know what? When your parents die in 20 years and you have a $800,000 judgment and you inherit their house, right out the door. You get nothing. You burn your life over saving a couple of bucks. Now, the insurance company here denied. Why did they deny coverage? Well, the car was registered in Massachusetts and the people snowbirded, but they just left this car down in Florida year-round. If you leave it down in Florida year-round, that means it's garaged in Florida year-round. It's not going back and forth. They had a relative that was in Florida using the car, and they said since that car was never in Massachusetts, so that was snowbirding is, let me rewind, snowbirding is when people live up north, and then they go south in the winter. And what they do is they'll spend 6 months in a day in Florida or wherever somewhere is warmer, and that's considered snowbirding. You have different tax implications. Your residency is where you are the most. If you're in Florida more than you're in the Northeast, then guess what? You're a resident of Florida, and you just happen to live in the Northeast or vacation in the Northeast in the summer. So this insurance policy was covering the car in Massachusetts, the fact that it was left in Florida. And on top of that, it was certified that everything is accurate. When you renew your policy every time, you are certifying that the details of your policy are accurate. And things change, right? Like, oh yeah, you know what? I decided I'll just leave that down there. You have to notify your insurance company. You can't just say, oops, sorry, it changed, because then they end up in a situation like this where they may not cover it. Now, the coverage issue is something where you can now, probably the person was dropped as well, but the coverage issue extends now liability onto the owner of the vehicle. So now you have a crashed Lamborghini, which Geico paid out on, I'm sure, to the rental company or to whoever was involved. But the person who wasn't insured, whatever their car was, and it wasn't really nice, it was like a regular SUV, it was not covered by the insurance company. They had to either come out of pocket or scrap the car. And then now they're probably, I assure you, Geico is suing them as well. You don't just sue the insurance company. You love to sue the insurance company, but you sue the individual and expect the insurance company to step in. So like when I have to sue a customer, I'm not suing the customer's insurance company, I'm suing the customer and then their insurance company simultaneously to step in and protect the customer, because that's what you're signing up for insurance for. So, moral of the story, if you lie to your insurance company to save a couple of bucks, it may work out that you're saving a couple of bucks, but you're not even covered anyway, because if something happens, you're really screwed. It would have to be a perfect storm where that car, like you're lying to them and you actually have the car like in Florida most of the time, so you're paying a different rate, but when you get in an accident, which you never know when that's going to be, it just happens to be in the area of Massachusetts or the Northeast, wherever it's registered, to make that story plausible. It's actually where you're saying it's garaged year-round. Don't lie to your insurance company. It could cost you big, and the savings are not worth it. I get it. If you don't like spending a lot of money on insurance where you are, move to a state where it's cheaper. But paying for insurance and having zero coverage, which is effectively what you're doing, is even worse than just not having insurance at all. Because at least then you're not at least spending the money on insurance. You just have nothing. So there you go. Rob Ferretti signing off. See you tomorrow. So you guys are familiar with my other company, Adventure Drives, right? Well, we're going to be going to Scotland in October. We're going to be doing Scotch distilleries, playing golf at St. Andrews if you want to do that, walking around, seeing lakes, waterfalls, driving the North Coast. It's going to be an amazing trip. Prices start as low as $2,500 per person for the shorter trip in Scotland. If you're interested in going, check out the link in the description.